Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. My name is Chris. I am your host. Today, we have an interview from way on the other side of the world. Well, I'm just going to get right into it. They are going to be in the States. I just got a message that they landed in California. And you know what? Let's just get into the interview. This is Javier from the band Alpaca from Shanghai, China.
We're going to start this interview. This is going to be so different and so exciting. And not that the person I'm interviewing isn't exciting. I'm excited to have this beverage. I've got some Sailor Jerry and some lemonade. It is delicious. I'm on my second drink right now. But I've got something really unique. I have this guy in a band that is over in Shanghai, China. This is a first. This is across the pond. This is something that we have never done before at the Doom Podcast, and this is going to be a first. I have talked with this guy time and time again. We have had discussions. We've missed each other time and time again, and it's difficult with the time change and everything, but I got him here. I got him right now. This is Javier from the band Alpaca. How you doing, brother?
I'm very, very good. Thank you very much for having me.
Dude, I just got to say, it has been an honor to know you and to talk to you. There is so much going on there that you have told me. I don't even know where to start. Well, let's just talk about the band. And I know you've got, is this the first tour that you're doing in America?
It is the first tour, yeah.
And this is fantastic. I cannot believe I'm looking at all the dates right now that you have. And you are going to be, you know, you're going to be all over the place. You're going to got some dates in Texas, California, Arizona, Let's start from the beginning. How did Alpaca come together?
Well, it was a difficult task, actually, because, I mean, I've been in China for like 6 years. And I've been, you know, in those years, I was trying to get a band because I've been playing in bands since like 1993. But it was very difficult here, so because everybody has singers, right? They all needed like drummers.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
And I can play drums, but that was not my thing. You know, my thing is to sing.
Gotcha.
And one day I was in this hardcore band trying out, like with all of them, and I wasn't really fulfilled with it. And this guy told me, "Oh, I'm like jamming with these guys. This is like this style of music, like, you know, kind of stoner, sludgy. Would you like to try out?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." But I was about to leave to Spain for like 2 months.
Right.
So I was like, damn timing, right? So for those 2 months in Spain, all I was thinking is about that band, right? Mm-hmm. And when I came back, the first thing I did was text him. I asked him, "Do you guys have a singer yet?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Dude, let's meet tomorrow." We did, and the magic happened. We both liked each other.
Right.
You know, they liked what I did, and I loved what they did, so it was perfect.
That's awesome. And so we've talked about this off air, but why don't you tell everybody, where are you from originally?
I was born in Peru, South America.
And how did you make your way to Shanghai?
Well, the thing is that when I was 12, we moved to Canada because the political situation and terrorism and everything in Peru was very bad. There was a lot of kidnapping of kids and stuff. So my parents were like, "Okay, let's get the fuck out of here," right?
Right.
So we went to Canada. We were there for like 3 years, and then we moved with my mom to Spain, to Madrid. That's where all my music, career took place. Okay. And then the financial crisis started, and I had to look for a job outside of Spain. So I basically spent 1 year in Bahrain, in the Middle East, 1 year in Dubai, 1 year in Cape Town, and so far 6 years here. Wow. It's all about surviving, trying to find work, basically.
Absolutely. Now, as I'm looking at the at your picture, I obviously know who you are. But the other guys in the band, I see David and Alessandro. And how do you pronounce the bassist's name?
Christ. He's like, people call him here Judas Christ.
Now, how did those guys get there? Because they don't. No disrespect, they don't look Chinese.
No. I mean, David is Canadian, and he studied Chinese before he came here, and he came here as an English teacher at the beginning, and now he's like an editor.
Right.
And Alessandro works in the music business, like online music business, for a company here in China.
Right.
And Chris has been living the most time here. First he was in Beijing, and now here. He's from Taiwan. Mm-hmm. And he's an IT dude. He's basically a hacker. He's our master plan, or he's like the wise guy of the band.
Really? So
without him,
yeah,
the band would not be where we are. I mean, we're nowhere right now, but we would be even lower. Like, he records us, he does all the technical stuff.
But you know what? That brings me to something, because we've talked about it, and Javier, I remember exactly where I was. I was actually across the street. I was at this place in Arizona called Desert Ridge, talking to you as I'm walking around and hearing your story and hearing the story of the band. It's just so, it's so different than America. What are you experiencing over there that would be so different than if you were in America playing?
You mean negative or positive?
You know what? I hate saying it, but I know you've told me the stories. Tell me about some of the things that you've had that aren't the greatest experiences so far, because I find it like fascinating over there.
Well, basically, you need to get, if you're a foreigner and you have like your working visa, you need to perform. You need to have a performer's visa,
right?
But sometimes like venues go around that, and they get a license and they sort of sponsor that license on you. But sometimes the government changes their mind, the Bureau of Culture changes their mind as well, and the police can arrive to a show and cancel it whenever they want. And you get fined, like a big fine, like maybe like $3,000 per person.
Whoa!
And I mean, it's not easy, and sometimes it gets more difficult. For example, we had our bassist Christ. He was going to rent a space to record, right, and for us to practice and everything,
right.
And the landlord said no noise after 9, which we said, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And so we started practicing after 9 with headphones, right, with an electronic drum kit, and everything was hooked to just us hearing it through headphones.
Right. And
at 9:05, this knocking on the door came, and it was this lady complaining about us with 2 policemen. So they shut us down. No, they shut us down. Well, to make a long story short, what bothered the woman was not the noise, because she could not hear the noise after 9. It was that she saw 3 foreigners coming downstairs with tattoos. So she reported it. And there was a campaign here that basically was like, if you see something weird, report it. So she did, and they have to listen to her. And basically that was the first and last practice that we had, and Chris had to sell all the stuff that he had to buy for making it a studio.
Oh, great!
So it was so sad and annoying.
Overseas in Shanghai, in that culture, is it? I don't know how to say it, but it's like, are they afraid of the boogeyman or something? Or like, am I missing something over there? I just don't understand. Like, what? It's just music, man. And what's the deal with the tattoos? What's the problem?
I honestly don't understand what the problem is. But for some how do you say it, for some shows or for some, there was cases of people having to use long sleeve if they wanted to be on a show.
So they would show their tattoos. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they obviously they link it to delinquents, and like in Japan, they link it to Yakuza.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Here they obviously, I mean, it's not well seen, but then you see the locals, they look at you and they point at your tattoos and they give you the thumbs up, like cool, it's kind of weird.
That is weird. Now, obviously in America we have tattoo shops all over. Are there tattoo shops in Shanghai, or is it underground?
There is a lot of tattoo shops here, and also there's this for us. I mean, for me at least, the best one in Shanghai. It's called Shanghai Tattoo,
right?
And they actually it's a business run by a tattoo artist called Ting, right? And she married this guy from Sacramento. Now they have a shop here, and they went back to Sacramento. They just opened one in Folsom. So we're going to be heading over there as well to stay at their house when we are in Sacramento. But yeah, there's a lot of tattoos here. It's I don't understand it. It's weird. But at the same time, you cannot find logic here. If you start finding logic, you go crazy, because there isn't.
Let me ask you.
It's a beautiful country, a beautiful city. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But there's no logic sometimes.
I know this is going to sound like a trite question or a simple question, but is Chinese food the same over there?
No.
As America? What's the difference?
No. Oh, there's a lot of difference. I mean, first of all, when you go to a Chinese restaurant anywhere besides China, the waiters are not eating the same food that you are eating. They adapt it for you so that you can like it.
Is it American Chinese or something?
Yeah, there used to be an American Chinese restaurant here called Fortune Cookie because American people missed Chinese food.
Oh my God,
America.
That's hysterical.
But it was very expensive as well. Fortune Cookies. There's no Fortune Cookies here, right?
I have no idea.
It's an American thing.
Really?
And you know what they call Chinese food here, right?
No. They just call it food. That's so true. Holy shit! You caught me, brother. You
walked into it.
I did. Oh,
but
my God.
it's different. I mean, and also there's different regions. You have Shanghainese food, Beijing food, Cantonese, Yunnan, Hunan, Sichuan. You have a lot of different ones. There's more spicy. There's sweeter ones. But Kung Pao chicken, that's not a Chinese thing.
Really? I know. What's the other? Is it? I forget. There's another dish.
No, sorry, not Kung Pao chicken. Chop suey.
Yeah. I thought there's a few of them that are more American and they don't have it in China. Is that correct?
Yeah. Like for example, I don't know, like sweet and sour pork.
Yeah.
You can have something similar, but it's not the same. Like I said, they adapt it to the culture where they're in, because American Chinese food is not the same as Spanish Chinese food either. Right. And also you go to a McDonald's here and you find Chinese stuff in the menu.
Like what?
Like porridge.
Porridge?
That they love that for breakfast.
Really?
Yeah, with some pickled stuff in it. I don't like it, but they do have it for breakfast, for example.
That is very unique.
They have rice and vegetables as well.
This is at the McDonald's?
Yeah.
Wow, man. So let's get over to the other side of the country, or other side of the world, America. So when was the last time you've been over here?
You mean in the States?
Yes, sir.
I've been 7 times in New York, I love New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been one time in Sacramento and San Francisco. But that was...
When you were in New York, did you stay in the city or?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I would stay in... Most of the time I would stay in Jersey City. Because my aunt had a friend there.
Yeah.
And I would just grab the path, go to Hoboken, and then grab the metro there.
Hoboken, no shit. Really, dude?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's funny because one day I was with my brother and my friends, and we were in Hoboken getting a pizza, waiting for my aunt's friend to pick us up. And we were coming from a Fantomas show. You know Fantomas?
Of course I do. I saw them live with, they opened for Tool years ago.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to that show in Canada.
Right.
But I couldn't make it. I had the tickets and everything. It was so expensive and I couldn't make it. But anyway, we were waiting for a pizza, and this guy saw all the merch that we just bought from Fantomas, right? And we were like younger, much younger.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, you come from a show?" "Yeah." "Oh, cool. Do you guys play?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, we play." "What's your name? What's the name of your band?" We're like, "Dude, you're not gonna know. It's a Spanish band." We're like fucking 20 years old. And he's like, I play drums in a band." "Oh yeah, which one?" "White Devil." I'm like, "No shit." And he goes, yeah, you know White Devil, the Cro-Mags?" I'm like, wow.
No
yeah, I do.
Shit.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it wasn't Mackie, but it was the other drummer that White Devil had.
Yeah, but you must have been shitting yourself, because it's like you have this hardcore background. I mean, even when you did a cover of Bad Brains, you did Right Brigade, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I started with hardcore in Spain. I had a hardcore band there, and the most that we did was tour France, and we went on tour also with Agnostic Front. We went on tour with the Warp Tour in Spain,
right?
And yeah, I mean, it was those golden years of. I think it was the second coming of hardcore, because it was the 90s. You know.
How was it touring with Agnostic and Roger Moret?
Roger Moret is the most humble person I've ever met in the hardcore world.
You know,
funny?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the tour manager was Billy Milano.
Okay.
Right? So he was kind of scary, right? I mean, you're young and he's huge and he's like screaming all over. and we had to be in Barcelona. The tour started in Barcelona, and we went on 2 cars because we couldn't afford to rent a van, so we just grabbed friends and stuff. So the drummer and the guitar player, they packed up a little van and went with the gear, and we went on another car. It was the worst snowstorm ever. Like, the news were saying, don't get out of the house.
Really?
But we were the only car going on the road with that weather. And the car, some part of the car would get wet and it would stop. So we would be stopping every half an hour. So we were late. And they were calling us like, dude, where the fuck are you guys? We're like, well, we're under a bridge right now, so it doesn't get wet. Oh my God. And you could hear Billy Milano, where the fuck is Red Shift? That was the name of my band.
Right.
And then Roger Moret told my band, they said, dude, tell them to just be safe. Don't worry. Whenever they get here, they'll play. Even if it's after Agnostic Front, but they will play. You know, there was no egos anywhere. You know, it was as soon as you get here, you can play. And you will play.
That's incredible, that you had a tour with Agnostic Front and Billy Milano.
Yeah.
That's just like, that's unheard of, dude. I feel terrible. I think it was at another show or something. But Milano was just in Arizona doing a show at the Nile Underground as MOD.
Yeah.
And did he play on that tour or no?
No. He was just a tour manager.
Wow, that must have been incredible.
Yeah, but the peak for my music career was EYEHATEGOD, dude. That was like, I was like a little kid in a candy store.
And that was pretty recent.
It was like, what was it? 28th of November.
So tell me what had to happen in order to get I Hate God to be in your area.
No, I saw that they were in. I mean, I texted Mike Williams on Instagram asking him if they would like to come to China, right? Mm-hmm. And he said we would love to, whatever, but nothing on paper. So when I saw that they were coming to Japan again, I thought, dude, this is the time. Right. So we tried to bring them to Shanghai and Beijing. It didn't happen in the end because they didn't have enough time to get the visas sorted out. Okay. But I got them to play in Taiwan because I knew a guy we played in Taiwan before, and I knew a guy that brought bands. So I told him, do you want me to get in touch with them and to get you guys play in Taiwan? He said, yeah. So the guy, when I told him, dude, I Hate God, do you want them to play in Taiwan? He was like, definitely. And since you're making it happen, you guys should play as well. So I'm like, well, of course, Yeah,
it's no brainer.
No, it's like, of course, I'm not going to wink. But yeah.
That is just amazing. And, here's a gosh, I don't even know how to say it, but are you experiencing anything different over the past few years with coming into the U.S.?
Well, I need the ETSA. I just grabbed it yesterday. Yeah. That's the only thing. I mean, normally I never needed a visa or a permit or anything. Mm. Because I'm lucky I was not in all those countries that they ask you if you are in, like Iran or Iraq or.
Right. It's such a different animal now, and mm-hmm. I know it's we're in strange times, aren't we?
Very, yeah. I mean, I keep complaining about China and stuff, but there's a lot on our plate in Spain as well, in Peru, and you guys have a lot on your plate as well. So
we have a little bit. But you know what? We have
just a little bit.
We got a few things going on here, but you know what? I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna get back into what we're here about, and this is about the tour. So you're gonna be coming over to the U.S. Mm-hmm. I know it took a while to get the tour situated. So if you don't mind. Do you have I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Do you have a set list prepared for US?
Yeah, but it's going to depend because sometimes we have a 5-band show or a 4-band show or a 2-band show. Right. Like the new songs, there's like 2 12-minute songs. So if we're playing with 4 bands, we can't play just 2 songs. Right. Like 12. I mean, at this point, the US doesn't know us, so everything that we play will be new for them. Right. We try to play the new ones because we are very, very happy and proud of them, and we will be recording it. We're recording them as soon as we finish the tour and try to release something, a new LP.
Do you mind? Can we go over some of those tracks?
Of course. And for example,
it's fun. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go.
I remember. I'll never forget this. It's the first time I ever saw Earthless live, mm-hmm. and they said, hey, we got one more track for you. This is the last song. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. And I kind of looked at the clock. I was like, so it's 30 minutes. I guess they're going to play another 5 minutes. So 35 minutes for a headliner?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then next thing I know, they played like a 35-minute song. So I get where you're at, dude. So let's go over a few tracks if you don't mind.
Earthless can't do it. We can't just say, okay, you know what? Let's fuck the other bands and let's play 45 minutes with 2 songs or.
I understand. Let me start off by just talking about a song that we discussed before. Right Brigade a Bad Brains cover. What can you tell me about that? Like, why did you choose that?
Oh, I love Bad Brains. I love the Bad Brains, and I mean, when I had my hardcore band, I used to play Leaving Babylon, so it was more of the reggae part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I always wanted to play like a hardcore one, and I said to them, well, why don't we do a Bad Brain song? They loved the idea, and also, I mean, to play a Bad Brain song also is because I want to, how to say it. Every song that we write, I write the lyrics, and the lyrics are very miserable. Right? I spit out all the shit that I have inside.
Okay, I got you.
So it made sense to play a PMA song, you know, to play a positive one.
Yeah, that you know what? As you're saying PMA, all I can think of is John Joseph from the Cro-Mags.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his, but yeah, he uses it. Toby Morse from H2O uses it as well.
Honestly, I think Joseph grabbed it from HR.
Exactly, and I Hate God uses it as well, but they say pessimistic mental attitude.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, like when they saw my tattoo, I have a thunder, you know, like a thunder lightning tattoo on my arm from the first album, and he saw it and he's like, "Oh, PMA." I'm like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Pessimistic mental attitude," and he said, "That's ours."
That is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah,
that is great, man. So yeah, you're paying homage with Right Brigade, and you're showing your hardcore roots, brother. So
of course.
Well, let me go into another track, Slow and Painful Death.
Yeah. So Slow and Painful Death was the second song of the new Alpaca era. Because if you see, we have an album called Black Stars, right? Those Black Stars,
yes,
they were at the beginning. They were two EPs. One EP talked about hell, and the other one talked about hell. But one was hell, how we know it, fire, the demon, and the devil, and everything.
Right.
And the other was hell on earth, like we are living in hell. Like whoever says I don't want to go to hell is like, dude, you're already in it.
Yeah, you're already here.
And I mean, obviously, seeing it from the PMA side, I Hate God's PMA, you know, the pessimistic mentality side of things. Now, the new era became after I got sick. I got very sick. I had a septic leg, like I told you before.
Yes, you did. Yeah, man.
And right now I'm recovering from a third one. Like I'm running out of time. No, I'm not. This country's killing me.
Oh, Jesus. We got. You know what, dude? Not for anything aside from the interview. We got to talk off mic about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
We will.
I have so many stories.
Okay.
And so basically, I mean, the sicker I got, the better the lyrics came out, right?
Absolutely, man. You're drawing from your pain.
It was a no-brainer. Yeah, it was a no-brainer. So I when I was sick, I kept thinking to myself, like, what's the meaning of life? What the hell am I doing here? You know, like, and then I realized, well, I'm not living a life. Like, what we're living is a slow and painful death. You know, we're all dead at the end.
Absolutely.
So basically, the game is to remain alive the longest possible. But you are dead. So that's what I say, that we're living a slow and painful death. You know?
Right. I totally agree. I understand. I get it, man. We've talked Mike about our trials and tribulations with our health, and I'm honored that, you know, aside from all this podcast business, I really appreciate you, brother, because I appreciate you giving me your story, you know, without limits. You just say it like it is, and I appreciate that.
Well, definitely. I mean, I write about it. You know, it's like I'm not hiding it. So, and like, I think that the most honest lyrics are the best lyrics. You know, like I have found myself several times when we were playing live, crying when I sing some of those songs.
Really?
You know, like, yeah, they're like, it takes me back to that moment.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
Like there is a song called "Pulled Apart by Horses."
Yes, we'll get to that. Yeah.
At some point, I scream, "Just cut the leg and let it go." You know, and now that I sing it, that I have it again, it's not so nice. You know, before it's like, okay, that's over. But when you have it again and you're singing the same thing, it's like, no, I don't want them to cut it. You know.
Does it, when you yell out and you scream, does it feel cathartic to you to get? Are you getting some kind of release?
Yeah, definitely. There's sometimes like the David and I, we've talked several times that when you have a shitty day, all you need is to practice with your band, because that's where you get all the shit out.
Right.
When you have a bad day or anything, you know, it's like, I need it. You know, I need to release all this shit.
Absolutely. Is there any? You know, while we're on the subject. Do you want to say anything else about Pulled Apart by Horses? I know you have it on vinyl right now.
Yeah, Pulled Apart by Horses is a song that it's a metaphor, but also is linked. Like the lyrics kind of mix each other, because Pulled Apart by Horses is in the Inca revolution. When the Spaniards came to Peru,
right?
There was this guy called Tupac Amaru.
Yes,
the second who fought them, and the Spaniards caught him and caught all his family, and they butchered his family right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tied him to 4 horses so that the horses would pull him apart.
Yeah,
right?
pull him apart, exactly. Yeah,
but he was too strong. They couldn't kill him. They couldn't pull him apart. So what they did in the end, they cut his tongue and he drowned on his own blood. But you know, Tupac, the rapper, his mom gave him that name because of this revolutionary. And when I'm singing "Pulled Apart by Horses," it's not only playing an homage to him, but also talking about how I felt with the sickness, work, all my state of mind. It felt like there was 4 horses pulling me apart. I couldn't just bear with it.
Really?
You know?
You were in that much pain?
It was very, very painful.
Ugh.
It was very painful, but not only physically. It was painful mentally. You know, I mean, I'm already a grown up, but being alone in Shanghai, like your family's overseas, and you know, it was hard.
I bet. You know, you're giving up a lot to be over there, and you know, it's funny because as a younger guy, I wouldn't have thought about it too much, but now as I'm older, I'm like, yeah, you know, I kind of miss some stuff, and I completely see where you're coming from on it. And I got to be honest, I did go on Bandcamp. I read it, the ideology behind the song, and I'm curious because I looked for this other band. I didn't see it. Is it Shas? SHAS?
Shas. Yes.
I looked. I couldn't find. So you did a split with them for this. So your track is pulled apart by horses, and then their track, it was Sun. I couldn't find it on Bandcamp. I guess I'll have to go on maybe Facebook or something and check it out.
No, I'll send you the link because they are Shas, but I think in Bandcamp they call themselves what Shas means, which is
hold on,
which is something like some humans are shit or something like that. Don't remember exactly what it means, but it's a band. It's a band that one of the guitar players from a Chinese band called Never Before, which are very good friends of ours, started. you should also check them before. I'll pass you a link as well.
Please do.
And they just Shaz just released an LP as well. They're like, they sound like they're sludgy on stoner. Sometimes they could sound like I Hate God. Sometimes they sound more like Pentagram.
Okay.
They're pretty cool.
I'll have to check it out as I'm talking to you. I'm typing it in right here and seeing what I can come across here. Never mind. I'll get to it. We'll talk over Mike about that one.
Yeah, I'll find the link and I'll send it to you.
Oh, awesome. And what can you tell me? Because you did another split with this band. How do you pronounce it? Caltison?
Caltesone. That's German.
Oh,
but it's a Spanish. It's a Spanish band, though.
It stands for Cold Sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's their style? Because
they're like post rock. They're instrumental post rock.
Okay, and I'm looking at
sometimes they could.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes they could sound a bit stoner. So we had the opportunity to release a split with them, and right after we released the split, we toured Spain and Portugal, and we played some shows with them.
Okay,
pretty cool people and pretty cool band as well.
And what can you tell me about Drown?
Oh, Drown, yeah, that's so after the septic leg, right? I started eating healthy. I started cooking for myself and stuff. But what I wasn't being aware of is that I was abusing the use of salt.
Yes, I remember. I remember the conversation. I remember that day we were talking, and you know, I'm so apologetic. I'm sorry. I know I was talking to you as it was 4 a.m. where you are, and here you are, exactly, being so honest and earnest and gracious with your time, even though it was so late. And we were just talking about this issue. But go ahead, sir. Yeah,
the thing is that when the septic leg got cured, I started to get swollen. Like my legs were huge, you know, like my balls were huge as well. Because
we had that conversation too. That's one thing we can share is we've both had disgustingly large balls.
Definitely. But the thing is that I flew. It was the time of the World Cup in Russia,
right?
And I had to fly with the legs like that, and through Moscow, and then to Spain. When it was a nightmare. But when I got to Spain, my sister saw me and said, "Maybe we take you to the hospital before home." They took me to the hospital, and the doctor said that I had insufficient heart performance. So my whole body was drowned in water because I was retaining a lot of liquid. So basically, the lyrics, the chorus on that song goes like, "My heart is drowning," you know, mm-hmm. and it's three like we divided the song in three. You know, it's basically at the beginning you start to drown, then you start panicking, and then you go into narcosis. You know, so basically it's kind of like a trip. You know, there's the very soft melodic part where you're in peace, and then at the end you're just struggling to breathe, but you cannot. And it's all a metaphor about my heart being drowning.
That's very interesting because I was in the same exact boat, and as I was listening to Drown, I got to admit I felt it. It's, you know, I'm sure for yourself as well. It's kind of emotional. I remember feeling it as I was listening to that, and the only reason that I knew about it, I was reading what you wrote on Bandcamp, and I got to tell you, man, I feel you. I've been through the same exact thing.
We had that conversation.
Isn't it so crazy? There's a part of me that is fully amazed. Whether it's the scene, whether it's the people I get in contact with, I'm honored again to know you, Javier, because we share such a similar experience. I have yet to have anybody share this that knows exactly what it was, and you were there, dude. You got it right away, and for that, you know what? I'm grateful. I'm grateful to know you, and I'm grateful that you could actually share this with people. They might not get the same feeling that I got, but I'm so glad that you got this to actually put this to music and let everybody know the experience. It's harrowing. It's really different. It's different than anything else that I've ever gone through in my life.
Thank you, man. Really, really appreciate it. And it's also an honor for me to know you.
And you know what? It's so. Is
this where we kiss?
Yeah, it is. But I'll tell you what, brother. You know what? It means so much to me that you're coming over to the United States, and I honestly can't wait to see you. So I could just give you a big hug and say, "Hey, brother, I feel you." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been a long road, yeah.
It has been, and I know time schedules are odd, and sometimes we can't get together. And I know weird things with, changing phones and all that bullshit. And you know the story. We've been on and off for a bunch, and I just appreciate you taking the time. I know it's difficult where you are. And I can't wait to see you guys come over here and fucking crush it in the United States and show everybody what you do.
Thank you, man. And nobody knows, but I also know what you have for breakfast sometimes. Those bagels.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. So full disclosure, sometimes we use WhatsApp, and I don't always switch from Javier to what was my girlfriend at the time, but when we first started talking, now my wife, and I would tell her stuff. I thought I was, but apparently I was telling Javier a lot of my life stories.
I felt honored that I was in your mind.
That's
you wanted
awesome.
to share that wrestle with me.
So I enough of the. I know we're getting far into the emotional side, but thank you for sharing that with Drown. I really appreciate that. And pulled apart by horses as well. So, what are you looking for as you decide to come over here and tour the U.S.? You deciding to build a reputation over here, or what's happening?
Well, first of all, play, because we love playing, right? But also to put our names there, put our stuff there. I mean, here in China, social media is all banned. So we're trying to create more awareness of the band as well, and try to get the furthest possible. I mean, we're not looking for fame or like fame and money as it sounds, but more of we just want to share our stuff with the most people that we can, and make the word Alpaca relevant in the music scene.
Sure.
It's not easy here. I mean, every band that we're playing with, like, we are aware that they have probably like thousands of followers, and we have like our modest 800 because there's no social media here. That like Facebook, only expats use Facebook. It's very difficult to create more awareness from here to the rest of the world.
So when you're at when you're booking and playing a show, how do you promote it?
You mean here?
Yeah.
Through WeChat and stuff like that. WeChat is kind of like WhatsApp, but it's a Chinese version.
Okay.
And but at the same time, it's monitored by the government. So yeah, it becomes difficult sometimes.
I got you. Now, if you don't mind, as I'm pulling up some of your other stuff, can you tell me what's happening at Shang Hellfest 2020?
Yeah, it's not a very original name. I came up with the name, but like when we started this journey with Alpaca,
right?
We played our first show, like I think it was June 2015 or 16. I don't remember right now.
Right.
And then we just said, okay, so people will call us. No, nobody will call you because they don't know you, right?
Right.
So I said, why don't we create our own festival, and invite our friends, invite bands and stuff, and that way people can listen to us. So we started the Shanghai Hellfest Festival. We invited bands that we knew in Shanghai, and we started the festival, but it was going to be yearly, right? It was going to be once a year.
Sure.
So when it finished, it was like, now what do we do? Our festival is only once a year. We have to wait a year. So we came up with the idea of Shang Horror Fest.
Nice.
And that was like, it was inspired in the Housecore Records Festival.
Okay.
We would play a scary movie, a horror film.
Okay.
And then 4 or 5 bands would play.
Gotcha.
Right. So it was pretty successful. But then the venue that we were doing it at, which was called Inferno, had to close down. So we had to stop it. But the festival kept going, the once a year one, and I think probably this is going to be the last one, because we are, like, David is planning to go back to Canada. I'm planning to go back to Spain. The band is going to continue, but we can't stay here. This is very, very complicated for the band.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned that. So you've got a couple other bands on there. What can you tell me about King of Lazy and Never Before, Impure Injection?
Okay, Impure Injection is, in theory, it's a 2-man band, but it's going to be a 1-man band that day. It's a grindcore death metal band.
Okay.
Sorry, gore metal band.
Okay.
And it's this guy that plays guitar and has a drum machine, and he just goes for it, just straight to your face.
We have some people that do that in Arizona as well with some black metal bands.
Yeah, he basically is a good friend of us. He's brought us to play at a festival at his hometown twice. That you play on the rooftop of a Walmart.
No shit, really?
Yeah, you play for like 2,000 people that are basically there because they were shopping at Walmart.
You gotta be kidding. That is hysterical.
It is. I remember one day, like the second time, it took me like to walk 150 meters. It took me like 55 minutes because everybody wanted to take pictures with the big foreigner.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I think I wouldn't be able to move 5 feet.
No, it's like parents. They wanted to take pictures with their kids with me. It was so funny.
Oh my God!
The kids were terrified.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Because it's funny. On a side note, like I think I've mentioned to you before, I'm a massage therapist by trade.
Yeah.
And I used to teach Thai massage in the best way I knew how from my teacher Margie, And she says, you know what? If you went over to Thailand, you would be revered. You know, people would think like, oh my God, it's like, you know, it's this big, huge man that's that's coming around like a Godzilla of sorts. And I was like,
yeah, you would have to be careful with the happy ending, though.
Yeah, you know, I always say the same thing. I was like, yeah, happy endings are interesting. If by chance you request that, if I grab it, I'm pulling it off. So
exactly.
Yeah. So I hope that you had a great time with whatever you had. Now it's going to be you know, a bloody whatever laying on the floor. So okay. So all right. So you got that band. So what do we got here?
Oh yeah, King of Lazy.
King of Lazy.
It's a new band, and they're pretty fucking amazing.
Really?
They're
Black stars, time is a flat circle. Black star. I know what happens next. I saw you in my dream. You're in Carcosa now. With me.
All right, so you were saying? Go ahead.
So King of Lazy is a new band. They're pretty awesome. They're kind of like stoner, 70s psychedelic with a beautiful voice. I mean, both of them have beautiful voices. It's like the drummer and the the bass player, they sing.
Really? Are they on Bandcamp?
They are on Bandcamp, yes. They just released an album.
As I'm talking to you, I am going to type that in right now and get that on my wish list. And everybody else should either get it on their wish list or fucking buy it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, they should check them out. They're pretty fucking awesome.
I'm getting it up right now. King of Lazy. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's some good art too, man.
Yeah, that's the bassist.
Right on. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they got a release that came out October 30th of 2019. Chinese Extreme Sound is one of the tags. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
All right, go ahead.
And then Never Before, they're like one of the godfathers of sludge, doom, stoner here in China.
Before. Yeah, okay.
Like them and us, we've been trying to create a sludge doom scene because everybody here likes thrash metal or metalcore or post rock. You know,
okay.
There's not a big sludge doom scene, but King of Lazy came out of there, and there's a couple more bands that started afterwards, which is pretty cool.
Right.
And Never Before, they have a couple of albums, and they're just about to release the new one.
I'm looking at their site right now. They got King of Worms was their last release. What do they have coming out?
Yeah, they have another album coming out. I don't know if it's going to be at the first quarter of the year or second quarter of the year.
I love what they put. They put King of Worms is Never Before's first full-length trip into Mushroom Land.
Yeah.
You know what? As I'm looking at that, let me ask you, what's it like over there if by chance you want to smoke a little weed?
You should never try that here.
What would happen to you?
You can go to jail and then deported.
Okay, like, if you're deported, like where do you go?
Well, you either go to your country or you either go somewhere else. But if they suspect that you have taken any drugs, even weed,
right?
They can hold you in a cell for 15 days without charging you of anything. And if they see that you haven't, they just release you. But if you have, they deport you or they keep you for a while. Like they've picked up David twice already.
Really?
And they shave your head like a rectangle on your head, like bald, because that's what they get the most recent, or the most time the sign of drugs would be in your hair.
Right.
But they don't care where they cut it. You can get a bald rectangle on the back of your head for everybody to see.
Is it almost like a mark, like, oh, this is a drug addict, this is a disgusting human being?
No, because you can test negative. I mean, David has long hair, so you cannot tell unless you look at it.
Right.
So it's not like a mark for everybody to see, but they don't care about your hair. Like,
sure,
they're just basically looking to see if there's drugs. I mean, we have a friend that got caught with his wife in a bar, and they took him to the police and they asked for the passports. They didn't have them. So they said, okay, your wife is going to stay here. You go get your passports. He went home and he decided to shave his whole body.
Oh, dude, you know what? I remember you telling me that conversation. He shaved his entire body because he was...
Everything.
That is incredible.
Eyebrows, everything. And when he arrived, the police looked at him and was like, what the fuck? And he said, in his Russian accent, my wife likes like this.
That is just...
But then they scraped his beard a bit, and he tested positive, so it was worthless.
Oh my God!
But it was so little that they didn't do anything to him. It was very little.
Oh, that is hysterical. Yeah, but you know what? In a way, it's hysterical. But I feel bad because, like, over here, it's like, who gives a shit? It's so different, and you know what? It might be a nice, beautiful welcome change for you to get over here, and just for a few weeks, anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right, brother. Well, you know what? We got this tour coming up. Tell me some of the states that you'll be in.
So we're going to start in Sacramento.
Okay.
And we're going to go from Sacramento. The first show is in Sacramento. Then Crockett. Then Oakland. Sorry, let me tell you by dates.
Yeah, that'd be better. Instead of like the states, just go over some of the dates.
It's like 23rd of January, Sacramento. 24th of January, Crockett. The 25th, Oakland. 26th, we're still looking into it, but it might be Ventura. 27, Palm Springs. 28, Tempe, Phoenix.
Hell yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. 29, Tucson. 30, Bisbee. 31, El Paso. Now, the 1st of February, we have it as Odessa, but we don't have nothing yet. 2nd, San Antonio.
Wait.
3rd,
back up just a second. What date don't you have anything at?
The 1st of February.
And where is it in?
It should be Odessa or maybe San Angelo.
All right.
Because it has to be between El Paso and San Antonio.
Okay, all right. Let me call a few people, see if I can hook something up.
Oh, yeah, all Texas we're doing with Mortales. You know them well, eh?
Oh, dude. You are going to have such a great time hanging out with Mortales. They are such great guys. Love them to death. I interviewed them a while ago, for
Twice.
Yeah, I was at Stoner Days Fest, put on by Damon Caraway, and then interviewed them again when their new album came out, and it's fantastic stuff, man. You're gonna have a killer time with them.
Yeah, we're also playing with Stone Witch in all Arizona.
Well, geez, I don't have to tell you anything about Stone Witch, man. They fucking rule. There is a reason. I don't know. Maybe I didn't tell you. Maybe I didn't ever tell you the story. Maybe I'll tell you a little later. But Stone Witch is one of the band Stone Witch is one of the reasons why I started doing this podcast.
No, I know. And you had the music at the beginning. I know.
Yeah.
I know the whole story.
Yeah, and
because of the logo, right?
well,
It all started with the logo.
there is a big piece of that. Yeah, and it's just like I was in Arizona and I was going through YouTube and I came across this band Stonewitch. I had no idea they were in Phoenix or in Arizona, and I got to admit, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be doing this.
That's awesome.
And they crush live, man. You're gonna have a great show with them.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So go ahead.
So where was I? I said, oh yeah, Odessa or San Angelo. Then the second, San Antonio. The third, Austin. And then the fourth and the fifth, we sort of have Dallas and Houston written down, but we have nothing. I'm still looking into it. And the sixth is a free day. And the seventh, we play New Orleans.
Right on, brother. So maybe when you're in New Orleans, you get a few beignets. You get some of that crawfish, some of that good old Cajun food.
Because of my leg, I just became a vegetarian, man.
Oh, so you're going plant-based?
I'm plant-based right now. I'm like, I've been listening to John Joseph a lot too. So yeah.
Yeah. Have you picked up any of his books?
Not yet, but I'm planning to.
I love the book. There he has a book called Meat is for Pussies.
Yeah, I know.
It's a great dude. It's a great book. And
I enjoyed the Joe Rogan podcast where he was in.
Right.
Because Joe Rogan is such a meat eater. He's a hunter, and he's not. So it was very nice to see them talk about their own shit.
I love it. I do love it. And I mean, if you've never seen John Joseph, I mean, the guy is an animal. He crushes it on stage. And then, how many people that are I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of school, but so he's plant-based and he does these marathons and these Ironmans. I mean, the guy's a machine. There's got to be something behind that, no?
I mean, the plants.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched this documentary that they were saying that some meat people would say, but if you become a vegetarian, where are you going to get your protein? And they were saying, where do you think the cows get their protein? So the cows eat the protein, and then you eat the cow. You think you're eating the protein through the cow, but the cow is the middleman.
Exactly. And you know what? I appreciate you telling me that, because I've wrestled with it for a long time. And I got to admit, I still love meat, and I will crush anything meat. I just, well seasoned on the grill. Oh, it's delicious. But, over the years with everything that we've had health wise, I've honestly I've thought about going fully plant based. I've talked it over with my wife, and we might do something into 2020. I'm not quite sure yet, but we're getting there.
You know what the interesting thing is that most of the places that we play, they're called something barbecue and grill.
No shit. You're going to be having a lot of salads on tour, my friend.
I'm going to have some French fries and salads.
There you go. Well, if you come over to, when you come over to the Phoenix area, I will promise you I'll have some hearty protein shakes, green protein shakes.
Nice.
With delicious greens, and you're going to love it. All right, so Javier, you're ready to do this tour, and then after the U.S. tour, what's next for 2020?
2020 is try to find a label. Because we've been doing everything DIY for so long that it's very time consuming and not always. It's a lot of money, And,
absolutely, it is. I've been pricing out some things to do that I'm kind of keeping under wraps right now, and yeah, it gets pricey, Drew.
Yeah, so try to find a label, release our new LP, because you've only heard Drown, Pulled Apart by Horses and Slow and Painful Death, but we have 3 more songs that are called like My Church of Pain, Ate Stupa, and Raptures of Deep Suffering.
Right.
Those are also containing the same themed lyrics, but in a different way.
Gotcha.
And we wanna write one more song and then release a 7-song album.
Okay, all right.
So far we have, I think, like 56 minutes, and adding a new song will just be like over an hour.
Will you be playing those tracks in the U.S. On tour?
Definitely.
Hell yeah, man! So we're getting a taste before it even comes out.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I mean, I'll show you a demo, like the demo that we have when we're there.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll send them to you if you promise not to share.
Oh no! No, that's private stuff, man. We don't share that.
And then after that, plan another tour, maybe either like Europe or Canada. We have been invited by a band that I think you should check out. It's called El Jefazo.
Bless you, sir. Bless you. Hold on. Let me hear. All right. Are they on Bandcamp?
They are on Bandcamp. It's
right.
El Jefazo.
Spell it.
EL space JEFAZO.
Jefazo. There we go. Okay.
The big boss.
All right, so they have their latest release called Symbiosis that was released on August.
They're an instrumental stoner doom band.
All right, dude. I'm putting in my wish list right now.
They're from Peru.
Okay.
And there's another band called Ancestro.
I know Ancestro. Totally.
Well, they're friends with El Jefazo.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But El Jefazo, I've talked to El Jefazo several times, and they've mentioned the word "come here," so we sort of have like a little door open there.
Sure, yeah. Ancestro, I picked up their release. It came out in September of 2019. Same title, Ancestro, and it's amazing.
Is that the one with the face of the indigenous guy on the black background?
No, it's like a what can I put it? Not like sacred geometry, but maybe.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know which one you mean.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, and it's fantastic. And I can't remember whether it was that band. There was another band that I was talking to recently that I wanted to get an interview, and every once in a while this happens, and that somebody wants to do an interview, but they might not be able to speak English as well as they want to. Mm-hmm. And I there was one band, I'm blanking on it. I have to go back on my emails and check. But there was a band where I said, well, how about this? This is going to be so weird if I talk to you. I think they were they must have been from Brazil. And I said, I will talk to you in Portuguese, and you try to talk to me in English, and we'll see what we can come up with. It's going to be so weird if we can get this done. And there's a few other places. There's some people that I want to talk to that are in Denmark and et cetera. And I just think that would be fun. I don't know where it would go. I don't know if people would download it, but it would sure be a hell of a time.
Yeah, you should check out a lot of Spanish bands as well. I will give you a list.
You can give me a list, or you know what, dude? I know I'm gonna see you in a few weeks, man. So
no, but that's what I meant. I'll give you a list then.
Oh, okay.
or I'll show you them.
That's awesome. You know? That's awesome. And so Alpaca is going to be a Yucca Tap Room in Tempe, Arizona. It's also the place where we're having Planet Mammoth, and it's going to be a blast, brother. I thank you so much, because I really, honestly, truly know how difficult it is to talk to you with everything that's going on over there and the restrictions that you have. And I'm so happy that we got the chance to actually record something and get something out there so people can know the name Alpaca.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for your time as well.
All right, brother.
I can't wait to meet you, and can't wait to be there as well.
Oh, it's going to be a blast, man. So
yeah, definitely.
If for anybody that is in the West Coast area and Texas, etc., just go see the Alpaca show. Jesus, man, they're coming all the way from China, for God's sakes. You know, the last thing you want to do is go there and see just a few faces. You want to see the place packed. So get your asses out there. Check out Alpaca. You won't be disappointed. I have been listening to the tracks over and over. I downloaded a bunch. Drown is killer. Pulled Apart by Horses, man, that is a journey. Slow and Painful Death, it's another journey. These guys know how to do it. They know how to crush. They know how to do it right. And
thank you,
brother. Before I let you go, last time I was trying, we were messaging back and forth. I was doing an interview with this band, Surf Through Death, which is a fantastic, almost like borderline psych desert rock band, and also Shane, that has the one-man doom band Via Vengeance. And excuse me. So I'm going to start this up again. And this is the last thing before we let you go. I've screwed this up royally over the past few years, and you know this, where I used to ask a question, I ask another band. I stopped it. I'll be honest, I just forget. I get so jazzed about talking to somebody that I totally forget. So I'll ask you, because they asked me a bunch of questions, but for you, I want to ask one of the most important questions, and that is, can you tell me a story about the first time you smoked weed?
The first time I smoked, well, does hash count?
You know what? I'll accept it for this interview, sir. Because
in Spain it's more hash than weed. I mean, at least in my experience.
Okay.
So yeah, I do remember.
Let's talk about it.
So basically, we used to. I mean, it's not only like how to put it. Okay, so basically, I was in high school.
Right.
And we skipped Latin class for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was working at a bar.
Right.
And so I would steal a bottle every night. No, not every night, but every week, one bottle.
Okay.
So I would bring a bottle of whiskey, and we would go to the, I mean, outside of the school, and we would we would roll a couple of spliffs, and we would mix the whiskey with Coke. Right. So we would make this bong made out of the 2-liter bottle of Coke.
Okay.
So the liquid that was inside was the whiskey and the Coke.
Nice.
And you would smoke with it. So that was the first time that I smoked, and I remember that I was like, nothing happens. I'm not high. Why do you guys do this? I don't understand. And my friend was like, spit. So I spit, and he goes, no, before I spit, he says, if it's white, you're fucked. If it's normal, you're not fucked. So I spit, and it was white, very white.
Oh no.
So I remember that we went back to class, and it was like math the next period, right?
Right.
And I started feeling like shit.
Oh, it's kicking in.
It was kicking in, and the teacher was this very, very shy guy, and he saw me like not sleeping, but like almost like my head down on the table, and my friend was like, "What? You want to puke?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm so noxious right now." and he was like, "Well, imagine that you're eating hairy bacon with a lot of oil and fried eggs." And so I started.
What the hell?
Feeling like, yeah, he was fucking with me, and I'm like, "Dude, stop it! I'm gonna puke." So he raised his hand and said, "Excuse me," to the teacher, "Can I take him to the bathroom because he needs to puke?" And he goes, "Yeah." So I ran out, and I didn't even get to the sink. I like sprayed the whole walls of the bathroom, right? And then I started like washing my mouth with water, and the water tasted like Jack Daniels. And I told my friend, dude, this tastes like Jack Daniels. And he goes, let me try. So after that, it was recess, right? We went to recess. I like just lie down on the grass, and the literature teacher arrived. Like he parked and he walked right beside me, and he said, you guys have 2 minutes to get in class, because it was our class with him, so I couldn't skip it because he saw me, right? So I go to the class, and I'm sitting to another friend, and the guy comes and says, "What's wrong with your eyes?"
Oh.
I'm like, I have an infection on my eyes. And he's like, "And why do I smell alcohol?" and my friend goes, "Oh, that's the drops. They're very strong." So I'm like, and he's like, "Why don't you go home and sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow?" And my friend was, "Can I walk him home?" So he walked me home,
right?
But I didn't want to go home. I wanted to go to the other high school to see my girlfriend. So I arrived to the other high school, and that was it. Basically, then it just passed. But it was quite a. I mean, I was 16, 17,
right?
So yeah, I didn't know better.
Okay, so this is something that the band didn't mention, but I'll ask you, like, what was the first song that you heard? And did it sound different when you were high, or with hash or weed, or?
Good question. I don't remember that far back. I just remember one song that I was very high, and I turned the lights off completely, and I just listened to that song. And it blew my mind.
What was it?
Exit Music for a Film by Radiohead.
Really?
Man. I listen to all sorts of music, but that song,
yeah,
I was in the song. I was in the video. There's no video for that song, but I was in the video.
It spoke to you. You got it, man.
It spoke to me. It was like, what the fuck? This shit is good.
That's fantastic, man, because, every once in a while, I don't know whether you do or I know I do. I get home from work and, you get a few puffs or whatever, and you just go on YouTube sometimes and you go down a rabbit hole and just like, wow, I haven't heard this for a while. Oh, it does. Wow, I don't remember being, polluted while I was listening to this, and now it sounds way different.
Well, I'll tell you about my rabbit hole in YouTube, but that has to be offline. All right,
dude. I'll tell you what. Hey, what?
I'm do something.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Do something. Smoke a spliff, the whole thing, without stopping. This has to be at night. Turn the lights off and play Exit Music for a Film by Radiohead, and tell me if it speaks to you.
Okay. You know what? I hit a little bit beforehand, and I will be hitting it again, and I'll go on YouTube and listen to it right away.
Okay, perfect. But remember, it has to be lights off.
Lights off. Okay, fair enough. Should I cover the screen so it's fully lights off, or?
Yeah, I mean, it should be all pitch black, but
right.
I know it's difficult. Just close your eyes.
Okay, fair enough. I'll do it. I could probably have some kind of. I got a bandana over here. I got some. I get this Death Wish coffee all the time, and they send me free stuff, and I got a bandana sitting right here, so I'll throw that on. All right. So before I let you go, I know I'm springing this on you last minute. Do you have a question that I can ask the next band?
Darkness from All right, so if anybody doesn't know, Alpaca is coming to the U.S. from Shanghai, China. If you don't get an opportunity any other time of the year, go see this show, because for the love of God, they're coming from China to show you one kick-ass, doomy, sludgy great time. So head on out to the shows, and we will see you there. My ass will be there. I better see you guys there. Javier, love you to death, brother. And we will talk to you. Likewise. Thank you. And we will talk to you when you are at Yucca Tap Room in Tempe, Arizona with the band Stone Witch. All right, brother. Thanks.
And Sortsi.
Oh, it's Source. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Source. I don't know how you spell it. How you pronounce it.
It's Sorxe. They are one of the most powerful bands in Phoenix, Arizona. You cannot miss this fucking show. Don't miss it. If you do, God damn it, you're fucked. Check out this show. Javier, again, as I said, love you to death, brother. I will talk to you soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, and really looking forward to meeting you.
Absolutely. Hang out for a minute.
thanks to Javier for taking out a bunch of time in his day. And yeah, I know it took a while to get the times right between the U.S. and China, but we finally did it. And you know what? After a bunch of talking, we're finally going to be able to meet in person, which is really awesome. I will be checking them out at Yucca Tap Room in Tempe, Arizona. Check them out on tour if you get the chance. And, you know, we've got some more episodes coming up. Next episode coming up is Via Vengeance. So look forward to that. And we will talk to you soon. So until that time, next time, meantime, and in between time, enjoy yourselves. Keep going to the shows. Buy some of that band merch. And don't forget to stay heavy.